Alrighty. Welcome back to Kamen Rider Review, episode 68. This is discussing episodes 13 and 19. Now, I should point out, though, I was originally planning to go to 17, but due to mishap with the bus that I was taking home, that decided not to show up when it was supposed to, I ended up basically doing a couple of extra episodes. Now, 13 is noteworthy for basically two things. It's the final appearance of the original mentor of Skyrider. Yeah. The character, Dr. Kuroshindo. Yeah, he actually leaves with episode number 13. And he's never seen again. He does not make a return. Apparently, also 13 is noteworthy for being one other thing. It is the last Kamen Rider episode to ever air in the 1970s. Yeah, the last one. 14 is the first one aired in the 80s. Yes. The plot of 13 is simply put, they find about a bomb that's going to blow up Tokyo, and basically Kamen Rider and the police. Yes, the police. I believe this is the first time the police ever been involved with the Kamen Rider at this point in time, because they weren't involved with the first 7 Kamen Riders, and here they are, apparently. They're basically working to deal with a bomb, which, okay. And, of course, they do find the bomb, and, of course, after it's disarmed, immediately for the next episode, Shiro's gone. He's been promoted. He's basically been asked to join the Anti-Neo Shock Committee. And that's the last series of him. Now, this also is the first time since this is also something that happened in the original Kamen Rider series, believe it or not, where you had a character make his debut in the first episode and then leaves after 13 episodes. That was a girl, and it was mentioned she went off with Handro, and she's never mentioned again. Does not make a physical appearance after that. Nope. Doesn't. Do not know why. She just doesn't. Yep. And, of course, basically, over the course of the next few episodes, we had characters getting dropped from the series. Take, for example, Mudu Amori. She leaves at episode 17, probably because, basically, well, there's no character going to be final episode that one. Yumi, who had been there since episode 1, actually since episode 3, she actually briefly departs the series, episode 17, but she does come back episode 33. Muchi, she actually leaves just a couple of hosts after the original mentor leaves, when episode 15. Imitea, he is a reporter who makes his final appearance in episode number 16, involving Cockroach Monster. No, seriously. And, well, that's the last see of him. Yeah, he's a bit of a comedic thing. Weirdly enough, he is the only character who appears in Kamen Rider Skyrider who never interacts with the main character. He doesn't. Do not know the reason for it. He just got a good story, and he gets knocked unconscious. That's the recurring gag of this character. My guess is that maybe viewers will get sick and tired of this guy, so they drop from the show, and there's no reason why. Now, Yumi, here's the thing with Michio. Now, they do explain that she's basically commissioned for basically a brief period of time. Due to what happened in episode 17, I'll get to that. So, the course takes a few episodes. Basically, the leader, he finally makes a return after being gone for like a dozen episodes. Why he's been gone, don't know. Maybe because he's dealing with the other branches, possibly. What happens in the other episodes, per se? Well, in the case episode number 14... deals with a fly-trap monster. Yep, and it's also worth to be the first one set in the 80s. Yeah, and it's also... this one is noteworthy for two things. Aside from the fact that 14 is the first one in the 80s, it is also the first appearance of their replacement mentor. A guy by the name of Gunjiro Tani, who's actually here for the rest of Skyrider, and he comes back for Super 1, like the Mr. Tabata. Kind of wish to get back to Black. I'll eventually get to Black, don't worry. I have heard there's a lot of good things about Black. Kamen Rider Black and Black RX. But I will get there, don't worry. It'll be sometime in the future. I'm hoping this year I might get a chance to do it. But probably, let's see, because... well, I'll basically talk about that more when what series we do next to finish this one. So... aside from the fact we do Fly Monster, also 14 is the debut of the barkeep of, well, a cafe. Now, this is the first time that basically the Kamen Rider's kind of base has been a cafe since X. That was the last time, because Amazon, he didn't have one. And yeah, they're stronger, because apparently for the last two Kamen Rider series, he's never had a place where he can just relax and just basically have a quiet chat with his mentor. Because, and this is my purse, I think they were trying to get away from that. And my guess is some people were not liking that very much. Just have a good relaxing scene. So, back to the cafe aspect. Yeah, and the office that the hang club that he was using, all because Regimental leaves, that concept is completely dropped from the series. And also, apparently, his whole thing of gliding, that's also dropped from the series too, for no reason. Also, they apparently don't have him fly very much. Yes, for some reason, if you watch the first 10 episodes, he flies a lot. But for episodes 14 and 19, he does not fly very much. He spends more time riding his motorcycle than he does flying. Now, this could be due to budget, possibly, or because basically that the ratings were probably slipping a little bit, but not by much. But at least the series managed to last for a little over a year before ending. Yes. Now, of course, basically, in episode 15, it deals with possibly an earthquake. Also, the freaking mushroom monster. Yes, seriously. A mushroom monster. That's his feature for this one. Yeah, and then, of course, we have the cockroach monster, episode 16, which this is the one that had the final appearance of the reporter. Yeah, he's dropped from the series this episode. You could say, oh, maybe he got killed. It is possible. But for some reason, they just don't really mention exactly what happened to him. He's just dropped for no explained reason. Oh, by the way, the name of the coffee shop is Blanca Coffee Shop. And it's pretty much here. It's pretty much the end of the series. They also have things basically in the episode where they have the earthquake and the whole thing of him fixing a motorcycle. Yes. Now, in the case of 16, this is also the first appearance of General Monster's his cyborg form. Now, they do bring up something about this red eye, is that if you're given it, it's your final ultimatum. If you fail this next mission, you will be executed. That simply put basically the purpose of this thing. And this was the episode that returned of the Great Leader, who had been absent for several episodes. Of course, for our next episode, he is gone, along with two characters. Yes. Now, of course, the cockroach monster, his whole thing is using cockroaches basically just to destroy stuff. Yeah, blow up stuff basically as he can. Yep. And pretty much in a way, he also inadvertently causes the cockroach monster's destruction. Yeah, apparently distraction, and apparently the way he's the first monster to block the Kamen Rider kick. How? His freaking cape. Yes, he is the first monster to use a cape. So eventually, of course, they just throw over his head and just kick him anyways. For the next episode, we have Kamen Rider versus General Monster. Now, the specific is called True Identity of General G. And we do not go to a general. That title was a big fat lie. So we do find out that basically that General Monster is this gecko monster. Yeah, and now here's the thing. This is perfectly standard when it comes to the generals. In their final appearance, we have basically this ultimate cyborg mode. That this harkens back to V3. Yes, this harkens back. Actually, no, I think the last general did this that I could think of was probably off the top of my head. I'd say it was probably the general from X. He was the last one to do this because Amazon didn't have any generals. Not really. It just basically the main villain descended of the group of monsters. But what about, let's say, Stronger? There were two generals in the original. There were two organizations, and they didn't have an ultimate monster mode, like basically like use like the cybernetic mode that basically the people have. This is the first one since that original one, the Apollo Guest, that was his name. Where the first one since that one that they actually had one of these. It's a pretty good looking suit, and he's the first one that turns into something like this since that last general who appeared in the original Kamen Rider series. Let's see if I can find him here. Yeah, the guy who appeared in the original one for Gale Shocker. General Black. Yeah, his one was also lizard as well. Yeah. Interesting, though, the fact that he's the second one to use basically like that. Yeah. Which I got handed to is actually a really good idea. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. Though, even after he's defeated by the Skyrider, he's still standing, and he's about to kill him, then he's shot by the brand new general, Admiral Majin, or is one of the sub I watched, Admiral Demon. And so far, he hasn't done anything at all, like aside from killing the general. And his first episode is to have a stingray monster suck up electricity and turn Tokyo into a fireball. I'm like, wow, what a very serious episode. No more comedy stuff. Okay, interesting. Not the first Stingray I've seen. I think it's the first one they've had since, I think the last was X. That was the last one they had, because they didn't have one in Stronger, because probably was not necessary due to if he attacks Stronger, he'd just make him more powerful. So they probably thought it'd be too much. Amazon didn't have a monster who used electricity that I can think of, but X was the last one I could think of that did this. Okay, so harken back to X. Alright, because it seems like though a lot of the monsters for this series so far, at this point, a lot of them harken back to the original Kamen Rider series and a little bit of V3. Now we're going for X. Okay, interesting. Yep, but this definitely was a good episode and good gripping story, fitting for Kamen Rider. The very next episode is basically him versing a Wolfman. This is something definitely from the original Kamen Rider series. A Kamen Rider versus the Wolfman. Yes, seriously. If you're curious though, was there a Wolfman previously in any previous series? Was there any Stronger? Nope. Amazon? Nope. X? Nope. B3? Nope. The original Kamen Rider series? Yes. Yes, there was. Actually, no. Stronger did have Wolfman. That one did, and so did the original Kamen Rider. But basically, the first time they had this one also had like a wolf sound. You also had human mode. You can also see like, oh, it attaches this particular device to his head. Though at the end of the episode was destroyed. He also apparently destroyed an entire village that barely is affected by the camera by the end of the episode. Yeah. I gotta say, still really good episode so far. And next episode for this one, it's gonna be exciting because we're gonna see the return of a familiar character next episode. It's starting episode 20. We're gonna see return of. Not gonna spoil it. I'll talk about that in episode 69. But yeah, that's particularly it for the review. Next up is going to be a comic corner, and then it's going to be Chainsaw Man, which I hope they release it. I hope they do. Okay? Thanks for you. Bye.